First and foremost, this is a selectmen's workshop, looking at public comment this evening. First on the agenda, Rep Brownfield Facebook account. Miss Ann, what do you got?
I am proposing that we allow the Brownfield Rec Facebook page to open back up again. It's one of the best ways of getting word out about events and activities that are going on in town. It's actually one of the only ways that a lot of parents receive information these days about things like that. So I believe that if we can keep track of the page, I am taking full responsibility of making sure the comments are turned off and that it will stay appropriate.
Can you block people on that?
Yes, so I have the ability of accepting friends and also unaccepting friends or unfriending friends on it.
No, there was always one before, right?
Yeah, we ran into a problem with Mr. Carbone. Just rating it.
Yeah, he's gonna probably do that regardless.
That's what I wanted to know, if we could block people.
Can you constitutionally block him?
I believe we can. Well, this comments will be shut off.
Correct, so nobody will be able to comment.
So it's basically for advertisement, right?
Yeah, it would be run just like the town Facebook pages. So it's just to upload information about things that are coming up.
The schedules and events and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing I would ask, if you have any problems, let us know immediately.
Yeah,
Because,
well, you can do, I mean, somebody's gonna chime in and say something you don't like, that's just the nature of people.
yeah, that's one thing, but if they try to take right over, you know what I mean, like what happened before,
Right.
something's gotta be done about that.
Well,
It's
that's
pretty hard, I don't understand all the legal end of it, but is,
Well, the hate and
goes a long
discontent,
ways.
the hate and discontent gets too much, you just shut it off, that's something. But then that, kind of more of a disservice in today's day and age not to do it, ain't it? The way people do business, don't it?
Yeah, definitely gets the word out.
Anna,
Mm-hmm.
the decision will be made in tomorrow night's selectmen's meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, committees, grant oversight advisory and ordinance review. Due to the amount of grants that we have going on, I mean, we currently have the public safety building, we just finished up the finalized grant on the roofing and exterior on the Toby Center. I just signed the last change order on that last week that finalized the roofing and around the ends with Phelan, Kyle. The last change order was done, and that's been submitted to Terry Ann Holden. So there's one grant that is finalized, but we still have the CEB cricket grant with the $74,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's still ongoing. We have a grant with the Missy-Lane Bridge. That number changed from 2.5 when we spoke to 2.0. That was an $85,000, not $850,000 for the engineering, architect, design, whatever portion of that. It was $85,000. There community center, to do the insulation, additional insulation in this one, and this building and that building. So, what do y'all think about forming a grant oversight committee? Because keeping up with the grants, whenever we start talking about them, I gotta kind of get reminded, all right, it's this one, all right, yeah, okay. I've gotten, but there's just so many of them going on. And this committee would be stood up and maintained, throughout time, because grants seem to be flowing pretty well at the time right now. We've been very fortunate with 2.898 for the public safety building, 100,000 for the community center, 74 for the for this building and the community center.
For this building?
Yeah, it was for this one as well. Oh, windows, that was another part of, again, that's a CEB grant. And then the ongoing with the Misty Lane Bridge. I think it would be good to have a committee that is cognizant of this, and stays on top of the grants. What do y'all think?
Well, to get all the information you can without doing all the legwork.
Anybody wants to be on the committee?
I believe so. You know, Joe Egan is, they've been
Hoping
doing
Joe, he does
grants
the grants anyway.
Yeah.
back to back to back. You know, as far as like, he's essentially the only person working on the DOT grant for Misty Lane Bridge. And that's sizable, I mean, it's $2 million.
Right.
So, yeah. But if we have a committee that can look more broadly into more grants, especially now where the public safety building, due to cost constraint, we're not looking at a 14,000 square foot building, we're looking, actually hoping for 8,000. So the emergency shelter portion of that is gone. So our next best bet is next door. Generator, inside upgrades, you know, that kind of thing. So there's a lot to it. So,
Yeah, put one together, you can put one together. Didn't have an issue with it.
okay, what kind of member? It's gotta be an odd number for quorum.
Well, I think you would probably hope for at least 5 people in there.
So 7?
5 or
Shoot
7.
Shoot for 7? Sound right?
Yeah.
7. Ordinance review. One of the things that we're running into with ordinances is once they're enacted, they're not revisited with law changes, statute changes, until it's one of those legal issues at that point. We should have an ordinance review committee.
Is that gonna involve a lot of legal cost?
I don't think it will. They can go through, and it would kind of play hand in hand with the planning board. Now, the planning board, granted, their number one, or their essential ordinances that they rely upon is land use and subdivision, which is part of land use. The shoreline zoning, so they're primarily focused around the land use. Anybody comes in for a permit, it comes down to land use, you know, subdivision, or can property be utilized for X business or something to that effect. So, it would play into planning board. But if we have a committee of volunteers going through and reviewing the ordinances, we can pluck out the legal stuff and get that to an attorney instead of turning the ordinance over to an attorney and
Right.
paying for the full boat. So we would be, it'd be easier for us to save money, but yet still get our ordinances reviewed in somewhat of a timely fashion so that we're kept up to speed with statute law changes, you know. I mean, this thing's going across the floor in Augusta daily, so. The ordinance review, legal review, you know, it could be thousands of dollars per. I mean, just one attorney's $265. What do they call the legal people? Associates, they're $190. You know, so, I mean, you're looking at $455, you know, an hour. Vice if we have a committee and they're picking out the individual legal questions and, hey, you know, this statute changed and a very prime example is, it is my understanding that with these, combining of the lots that's happening right now, that was a statute change from 2017 that we didn't know about. So it wasn't illegal back in, when it happened in the early 90s, but 2017, there was a change and we didn't know about it. So now we're in a little bit of a pickle because the taxpayers are like, hey, we didn't know about this. You know, back in the day when we bought it, it was good to go, you know, no problem. If we have this committee that is reviewing these regularly, and again, stand the committee up and keep them going. I'm sure there's gonna be, you know, multiple changes of you know, people doing things, but at least we will have some kind of control on review so that it's not, it doesn't present a legal problem. And I don't want to have legal issues later on. So,
Yeah, you can talk to people when you're doing it.
we have a very, very solid volunteer base in this town.
Well, we can get somebody to do it. I'm all for it.
Well, I've always said, I think I'll help I can get.
So,
Yeah.
seven person, 5 person.